Yo, welcome in everyone. After much technical difficulties again, thank you for sticking with us. And if you're watching this an hour after we said we were going, thank you. Um, just wanted to give y'all an update about the transfer portal now that that is open. Um, so let's get this show on the road finally. What say you guys?
Well, hello, hello. It's good to be here again. I think we just lost Matthew. Maybe he'll join us back here in a second, but it looks like he dropped off. But just go ahead and go. He'll join in when he gets a chance.
Yeah, uh, we will get him back here momentarily. So the first order of business, I just wanted to touch on the fact that we have now 12 Georgia players officially that have announced for the portal, and one, which we'll get to in a moment, that has already committed. He's the earliest commit that I've seen. Y'all
Can
can correct
can
me
you
if I'm wrong.
say can you say tampering?
Yeah, I mean that
Tampering.
he committed like 12 to 24 hours after saying he was going in the portal. Like it was a done deal. And he's a quarterback. So these quarterbacks get big money when they transfer. So, but there are no tampering rules.
No. It's all handled with back channel discussions and stuff like that, so they skirt around that. And
So,
I'm not so sure that he necessarily got such a large sum to come join them. It's more so, I think, the promise that he's going to be the starter next
promise
year.
for that, and the guaranteed playing time. And
Which I have no problems with what he's doing. We're talking about Brock Vandegrift, by the way. He was at Georgia for 3 years and he's graduating in December. He's graduating in this when in a couple of weeks. So he's transferring as a graduate transfer. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's still got 2 more years of eligibility remaining.
Yep.
So I wish him the best. I actually wish we could have seen more of him get to play for Georgia. I think he's a very, very talented quarterback, and now we'll get to watch him display those talents. But it'll be for a different team. He'll be in blue instead of red now.
He'll hold that
But
L.
But I wish him the best. I hope he beats the crap out of Tennessee when they play. I hope he beats the crap out of Florida when they play. I hope he beats the crap out of everybody when he plays anybody else in the SEC except for one team every the next 2 years, and that's Georgia. You know, so but all the best to Brock. He did it what I would say is the right way. He was a good teammate from what I've heard, and did his work, graduated, and he's got a chance to move on to some place where he can actually get some a lot of playing time. So you can't fault somebody taking advantage of that opportunity at all. And if there's some extra money in his bank account because of it, so be it.
I totally agree. I think that was probably one of the better fits for him, just because he not only, I mean, it sucks that he left, but Georgia's bringing in a pretty good replacement for him. So it's not really a loss for us per se. But me personally, I think that was a good fit for him because I think he fits their game style more so than ours.
You what do you would you like to expound on that? Like what do you think his style is and how does that fit at Kentucky?
They're more um I mean it's similar to our game style and how we run things. It's just not as quick, if that makes sense.
So they don't play with like the same speed.
No, they don't run on tempo. They pound it. Like if they aren't doing well throwing the ball, they'll pound you with the running game, regardless of if success being successful or not. They'll just pound it, pound it, pound it, and I think he'll enjoy that a little more. I think that's why he didn't get a lot of playing time with Georgia because that's how he was with where did he go? Prince Avenue, I
Prince
think that
Avenue.
was, and they were pounding, 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 and there were times where he threw the ball, but they were running the ball more than throwing.
Yeah, but running the ball is one of his he's definitely a threat running the ball.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, he's going to drive some defensive coordinators crazy, I think, figuring out ways to stop him because anytime you got a running quarterback, it just stresses your defense out. Um, but I
He's just
definitely
got to
think
get
it's a
out of
good
his
fit.
shell.
I mean, he'll get that with, repetitions. And that, when you go to a place and you are number one, QB1 now, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the majority of the reps.
Yeah.
So do we think that this means that all signs lead to Carson Beck staying at Georgia? Do you think that the insider backroom deals that we, alluded to kind of meant, hey, he got a nod from Beck in his camp that I'm coming back for my senior season. And so Brock was like, all right, I'm out. I need to go get some playing time. I need to build my resume for the draft in a couple of years. I think that's what happened. Dad, do you think that that's what happened?
No, I think they're independent of each other, really. Now, because the only reason I say that is because Carson Beck has not made a decision yet, as far as I understand. And he definitely hasn't come out in public and stated one way or the other, yes, I'm coming back, or no, I'm going to turn pro. Um, but it definitely, I mean, I could see how you would read it that way. My initial thought was to think it was that, that Vandegrift had some insider information, because I'm sure he's friends with Beck, considering they play quarterback together and they're in meetings together all the time and stuff like that. So um, I could definitely see that it's a possibility that Beck might have clued him in. Yeah, I'm leaning towards coming back. So he said, all right, well, I'm going to find the best situation for me. But I honestly don't think one had to do anything with the other. I think both players are weighing their options and determining what they feel is the best fit for them moving forward, the best decision for them, whether it's going to the pros, staying at Georgia, getting in the transfer portal. Whichever one's the best option, best choice for them, that's what they're doing, each
Well,
individually.
I can agree with that. I can see both sides. I also, the reason why I think this points to Beck staying um, is this, Kirby Smart would have a redshirt sophomore that slots into the, you know, most experienced quarterback on the roster that has taken what, a handful of snaps. And then he's got a true freshman stud coming in, 5-star Dylan
Two
Raiola,
of them.
two of them, sorry. Um, I don't see him starting a true freshman from day one.
Well,
Um, so
part of the reason why
that's
part of the reason why I don't think they have anything to do with each other. If Beck decides, hey, it's my time, I'm going to the pros, guess what that means? That means then we're going to dip into the portal and find us an experienced quarterback to come in.
which may mean we
DJ
get to one of these.
Ukulele.
I hoped you are wrong.
Yeah, me too. No disrespect to DJU, but
All the disrespect to DJU. I've seen that up close and personal, and I don't want any of it. None of it.
to be fair, he looked awful against Georgia, but that was probably the best defense in the history of college football.
I still don't want any of it. I
Yeah.
didn't watch a game of his at Oregon State this year, but I didn't care to because he sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'll just shoot you straight.
he's
I'm
not
just keeping it real.
he's not one of the top tier guys. So, another guy that I think, would be a top tier get for Georgia, and I consider Beck being a get, like somebody that they land. It's like free agency, right? Because Beck is a free agent now. He can go to the draft, he can transfer, he can do whatever the heck he wants. So retaining Beck is option A because he's going to be a top 10 pick one day. Um, Maybe number one pick. So option B is probably landing Trevor Etienne from Florida. Um, I think we need another running back that brings the luster back to the position because I think this year, while we had a good running back room, I think we need that guy that can just break one, and is can be the bell cow back again. I think we split it. We were forced to split it very evenly this year due to injury and due to the lack of just having the guy. And I think Trevor Etienne could be that guy. Hence the last name. His brother is in the NFL. So, Matthew, do you think that he would be a good pickup?
Yeah, I would think so. He would definitely help us out tremendously in the running back room. Not saying Edwards did bad. Um, but I think having Trevor would definitely boost the running back core. Um, and it will also help Trevor out too because he's hasn't had the best stats at Florida, and I think he wants to have a better outcome in college so that he gets a higher draft pick later down the road. And
Higher draft
being at
grade.
Georgia, yeah, being at Georgia will definitely help that.
Who Georgia's been, running back university the last, 10 or so, 15 years. You've got some studs in the
Good,
NFL.
yeah,
Nick Chubb leading the way in yards before he got hurt this season, and he led the way most of last season. Just to name one among, Todd Gurley, even though his career kind of got cut short. He was a stud for, a couple of seasons and helped the Rams win a Super Bowl. Well, he helped the Rams get started on their Super Bowl run. He didn't actually finish it with them, but um, yeah, I think another strong running back would definitely help us. Uh, do Why do we think he would be leaning to come to Georgia out of it's it says everything that I'm seeing, got an article from Rivals. Anthony Dasher put this up just about 5 hours ago. He said he's most likely picking between Georgia, Ohio State, and Alabama. So, those are three of the premier programs in the country. So why do we think that he would ultimately, show up at Georgia over those two? Who wants to take the first stab at that?
I think that he probably would lean more towards Georgia just simply for the opportunity. Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Alabama has some pretty decent running backs coming back already. Um, so there's no guarantee if he joined them that he's going to be running back one. If he comes to Georgia, he's pretty much going to be running back one. Um, Ohio State, they still have a couple of studs up there at running back as well. So I think the better opportunity for quicker playing time, which if you're in transferring, that's what, besides whatever payday you may be asking for or getting or offered or whatever, the number one thing you're looking for is playing time. There's no point in transferring someplace if you're just going to sit, right?
Hmm.
Um, Now, Georgia's running back room is pretty stacked as well. I mean, when you count the incoming freshmen that are signing here in a couple of weeks, um, there's going to be 6 running backs on scholarship already, not including ETN. Now, granted, there's 3 incoming freshmen, so they haven't signed yet. They're not officially part of the team. So one of them could definitely change their mind last minute or something and not actually commit or sign with Georgia. So that's assuming they sign their letters of intent in a couple of weeks and actually become part of the team. But if they do, that if you include ETN, that means we'd have 7 running backs. Now the problem is they all aren't healthy. They haven't been healthy all season. That's the reason why we were using what's his face, the wide receiver.
Dylan
Um,
Bell.
yeah, Dylan Bell. That's the reason why during the early part of the season, some towards the middle, where you had to use him as a running back option. Because some of these guys weren't healthy. Branson Robinson, he missed the entire season with a knee injury. Uh, Andrew Paul and Roderick Robinson were dealing with injuries off and on all throughout the season. So um, I guess it's going to say a lot if NTN actually commits and shows up and transfers to Georgia, how the coaches feel about the health of that room to me. That if they accept him transferring in, that means they feel like they needed the help in that room because they're not sure how much they can count on the other guys at this point because they haven't stayed healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Just to make a couple more points on that, and then um, like to see what Matthew thinks about him fitting in. But the biggest thing that makes sense, he's got 2 more years of eligibility, um, and you alluded to the injury bug that's hit the running back room and the uncertainty with starting true freshmen. You also get a proven guy uh, who had 753 yards this year, averaged 5.7 per carry. I'd like that. You could interest me in that. Every time you touch the ball, you're almost getting 6 yards. That's a first down every two touches. And six scores. He got in the end zone a total of 8 times, but as a freshman, he got in there 6 times. So he knows how to find the end zone. Um,
And I do
so
like the fact that he seems like a home run threat too. I mean, anytime he break free into the open, he's gonna be hard to catch. He could take it to the house.
I'll catch him.
If there's um one aspect of his game that may be lacking, it's
Speed.
his pass protection. He's not very good at pass protection.
Oh,
So
no.
he will have to definitely learn and get that skill because Georgia relies heavily on their backs to help protect the quarterback on passing plays. So to get the playing time here, that he's going to have to be better with that.
Yeah, I'll piggyback. Um, I'll just say with Trevor, he will definitely um boost those averages um just because Georgia has a better offensive line than Florida. So he'll be able to move the
Yeah, you
ball.
could say that.
Okay. Anyways, he will definitely get in the end zone a lot more. And I think one thing that Georgia will hopefully focus on is try to get some receivers to help out. So that way we don't use Trevor so much that
Well,
uh
Georgia's always going to split the load between backs. They're not going to
yeah,
give one guy 30 something carries in a game or whatever. They're going to rotate and keep guys fresh.
yeah.
well, heck, we had Nick Chubb, Sony Michelle at the same time.
Yeah.
So that still wasn't a 50-50 split. They still, split it 3 ways. It's always 3 or 4 deep, and in the split of the carries. So I'm glad you mentioned, wide receiver help. It looks like we're getting a visit from Vanderbilt receiver this weekend. And
Don't want him.
what's that?
Don't want him.
Well, I can't interest you in a 6'3", 6'4" receiver, 215 pounds that can,
Run a
get by,
4-4.
yeah, take the top off the defense.
Nope.
He's
He went to Vanderbilt. He sucks.
oh, hey, mark that. Mark that. We need to cut that.
Yeah, I'll end up
Keep that clip. I want
because
that clip.
I think that's what Georgia's offense was missing this year
Yeah,
was
Arian Smith didn't fulfill that role like we thought going into the season. Early in the season, they tried to continue to use him in that way, like he did against Ohio State, for instance, the previous year, in the semifinal. But he just had a case of the dropsies. And to be fair, early in the season, Beck wasn't as accurate on some of those deeper throws to where they couldn't hook up. And then it just didn't come to fruition at that point. But yeah, I definitely think he could do that and fill that role. I put it this way: if Kirby wants him, I want him. It doesn't matter who you are. If Kirby wants you on the team, okay. Welcome to Georgia.
Yep, and we'll welcome you with open arms. Just be ready to block as a receiver too. Just like the running backs, you got to block, you got to be physical, and that's what I'm saying. A big physical receiver that can block, that can take the top off the defense, that can be a big body in the red zone. Adonai Mitchell, I think we missed him this year, and we're about to watch him play in the playoff again. And I have a feeling he might be the difference in the game for Texas. Um, so, there are difference
Quick,
makers at that position.
quick thing you brought up, AD Mitchell. If Texas somehow pulls out the win, wins the national championship this season, he will have won back-to-back championships.
So he completed the three-peat, even though the committee robbed Georgia of the opportunity to do that. So
And going back to the receiver, what's his name? Fellows? Is that his name?
yeah,
Um, isn't he the one on Vanderbilt's opening drive this year against Georgia that caught that slant over the middle and just housed it on us? They went up 7-0.
just like
And you, Matthew, you don't want none of that?
Nope.
Okay.
he can catch him. Remember, he said that. Oh, he said he could
No, I
catch
can I
ETN.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
catch Trevor.
Okay. Okay.
I believe you.
I'd like to somehow, like, I don't know if
How do we
Trevor
seg?
or fellows would ever see this, but if we could arrange that. I live 10 minutes from the stadium. You can come stay with me. I'd be glad to go out there and film you guys running side by side. I think it'd be fun,
And we can put it
but
on the channel.
I'd be happy to put it on the channel. I'll go live, so
Yes.
everybody can see
I'll
it.
do
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um,
Sign me up.
We need
so
somebody to reach out to Trevor NTN and to Fellows if he becomes a Bulldog and see if we can't set this up.
yeah, because
Let's do it.
I know, Matthew, you were really fast. I just,
But you ain't that fast.
but I'd be interested to see you try to keep up with them for at least a few
Easily.
strides
Okay.
there. Um, but to put a bow on the Georgia transfer portal talk, um, just to
Who
go
all
down
is,
the
yeah, I was going to say, who else on that list?
so to go down that list, we talked a lot about Brock. He committed to Kentucky already. He's the only one of all of these to commit so far. Um, Wide receiver Jackson Meeks, who's the known for returning punts. He's in the portal. Offensive lineman Austin Lasky,
Yeah.
think I'm saying that right. Outside linebacker Darius Smith, defensive lineman Jonathan Jefferson, outside linebacker CJ Madden, um, kicker Jared Zirkle, excuse me.
He's the one that
Um,
handled all the kickoff duties for us this year.
and I
So
guess they're thinking that he wasn't in he the same class as the place kicker. Um,
I think they are. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I just know that I think he's interested in going somewhere where he can get kicking duties.
More kicking duties, place kicking.
Not just kickoffs, but place kicking duties. Because as you saw this season, we had a true freshman come in and just rock it after the first game or so.
I mean, I was there for
And
the South Carolina game. Everybody was kind of iffy about how that he did in that one. To be fair, it was a wet day, kind of a chilly, windy day.
but the
Um,
rest of the season, I don't think he missed hardly.
no, no,
So I mean,
he's the
you're
guy.
you're you're Jared Zirkle and you're sitting behind that on place kicking duties. You're like,
Tough luck.
what you gonna do? He's a freshman, so
And kickers pretty much play out their career. They're not,
yeah,
it's
they're
rare
not
that
gonna
they go
turn pro
early.
early. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
So, and to finish this up, cornerback Nyland Green, um,
Who?
wide receiver Mackay Muse. Sorry, Mackay is the one who's known for returning punts. Jackson Meeks had trouble staying on the field this season due to injury.
Hey, that's good for Mackay. I think I saw too where he's already been offered by Syracuse. He was a walk-on. He was not on scholarship this year. That's another situation where I totally agree with the guy taking a chance. If we weren't going to give him a scholarship, transfer, if there's somebody out there willing to give you a scholarship and pay your way to school and all that stuff, more power to him. I mean, he did well for us. Wish him all the best. But, he's got to do what's best for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then two linebackers, EJ Lightsey, who has tremendous upside, I think. Linebacker Xavier Sori and DB Jameer Moten. Um, Everybody on defense, we seem to just be pumping out defensive stud after defensive stud. So these guys, you know, it may hurt, but all the insiders in and around the team really expected these 12 names um, to declare, that they're gonna put their name in the portal at least and see what's out there. So no shocks, at least not to the insiders at this point. Um, so let's uh, transition here. Let's talk about a few of the big name quarterbacks from other schools that have put their name in the transfer portal. And we will do this kind of in quick order here. So Dylan Gabriel's probably the biggest name on this list. He is leaving
No,
Oklahoma. You don't think so?
I would lean more towards like Cameron Ward, probably.
Uh, okay, I mean, maybe we could argue that. Um, I just think as a pure quarterback, I would take Dylan Gabriel. Um,
It all
where
depends
does
on your
DJ.
your system.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on your system, whether or not you're a good fit, right?
yeah. Now, a guy like Riley Leonard, he's put his name out there and he's leaving Duke. He was getting high draft grades. So he could be more of a plug and play just about anywhere type quarterback. Um, but I was thinking, and a lot of people think too, that Dylan Gabriel is going to be the hot commodity. Wherever he goes, it's going to be um, talked about a lot. Um, I think he he feels like, and I read this and heard this being talked about on other talk shows. He's visiting Oregon first. Um, they just had Bo Nix transfer in. Now he's finally, done with college football after
What's it
seven
been
Yeah.
like
seasons.
17 years or so?
Yeah,
About
seven.
25.
But that to
And
me,
he's 0 for Georgia.
yeah,
He never
yeah,
beat us, no matter who he's playing with. He never beat us.
nope.
Trash.
But anyway, I feel like Oregon would be a good fit for Dylan Gabriel. I think that just feels right. Um, and I would watch that. And that is an interesting fit to me. Um, Anybody have anything different to say about that?
Not
What
really.
other colleges are they, or is he looking at? It's Oregon and who else?
I mean that's the one that I've heard so far. I don't know if there's another one to surface. I just know he's visiting there first, is what I heard.
I mean, he could possibly try Washington too.
Yeah.
or uh, any of the
Maybe Ohio State.
Big Ten, yeah, Big Ten schools that need one. Yeah, I mean, Michigan might need one since JJ will be gone. So
And
he
it,
could he could pretty much go anywhere.
yeah, because Kyle McCord is leaving Ohio State, so that leaves an opening there. JJ McCarthy's graduating. So, um, yeah, I mean, all these, it's really up in the air for all these guys. We don't know exactly where they're gonna go. Uh, Brock's been the first one to commit, so we're not sure yet. But I think Dylan Gabriel might be the first domino to start all
Who
of it.
who's the quarterback for UCLA?
Mm,
Isn't he in the portal too? Didn't he decide to go to the
Mm,
portal? Because you brought up Ohio State's quarterback, McCord.
Ethan Garbers.
No, that's not who I'm thinking of. Anyway, I can't
Hmm.
remember off the top of my head, but Ohio State was looking at some other quarterback. That's the reason why McCord decided to jump in the portal.
Dante Moore,
Who was he with last year?
UCLA.
Oh, that was right. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought I'd heard or read or something on one of the other shows.
Yep,
But
CBS Sports reported that he's going to explore his options after a quote rocky freshman season. He struggled with ball security and ultimately lost the job late in the year, but he has tremendous upside, everyone's saying.
um, so the portal's open. It'll be open for I think a total of 30 days, if I'm not mistaken, 30-day period. So we'll have plenty of more updates along the line, I would imagine, as things progress, people players commit to certain schools and pick their new homes and stuff like that.
But there was definitely no love lost here for DJU and who was the other one we said sucked?
It was
Uh,
mainly DJ.
oh, Matthew said Cameron Ward sucked.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
don't know. I just it's hard for me to say a college athlete sucks because I didn't play college athletics.
Well, I
I
didn't
did.
play college football, so
Matthew, you ran
if they're on a
college.
college football team, then I guess they were better than I am.
Yes, same here.
That's not hard to do.
I
Hey,
didn't say it was, but I'm not the one sitting there saying he sucks either. I
or that
just
I
said
could.
I just didn't want him to join my team. That's my point. I just didn't want him to join my team.
Yeah, and I don't think he will. He's not going to be a fit at Georgia.
He will sit left bench.
So we ready to do some final thoughts?
Yeah, Matthew, why don't you start us on the final thoughts here, and then let's wrap this up and get out of here.
Uh, With the portal just opening up, it's just going to be a bit crazy, just like MLB will be once Shohei signs the Braves. But I think with the NCAA, once I kind of agree with you, Micah, once Dylan Gabriel goes and picks where he picks, the other quarterbacks will follow and everybody else really. Um,
Kind of
so I
like go
think,
down the pecking order, right?
mhm, I think that. I think Dylan Gabriel's is the Show Otani of football. Just
It's
he's the deciding factor of the domino effect.
Shohei Ohtani.
Insane.
Dad, your final thoughts?
My final thought for the evening is congratulations to one Mr. Brock Bowers, the first ever back-to-back winner of the Mackey Award. It was announced today. So,
With a
congratulations to that
broken foot.
dude. That dude is just insanely talented, insanely good. He's got such a bright future ahead of him. Um, we were lucky to have him on our team for 3 years. I mean, he will definitely go down as one of the best ever to put on the red and black. And
And the best tight end in NCAA.
so, I mean, realistically, he could have been a three-time winner of this award because he was right there in the mix his freshman year. But that's my final thought for the evening. Just congratulations to Brock. Thank you for all you did for our team. It was a joy watching you play ball. And, I will continue to be a Brock Bowers fan no matter where he goes in the league.
Watch him go to Philadelphia.
No, I was about to say I'll piggyback that. My final thought is uh hopefully Brock ends up going to the Kansas City Chiefs and sits maybe or plays a little bit behind um Kelsey and then becomes Kelsey 2.0 for Patrick Mahomes and wins him a few rings. That I would love to see. Um but my final thought would be, I'm rooting for Dylan Gabriel to Oregon. Oregon's very quickly becoming my second favorite team to watch in the country. Just I've said it before. I believe in Dan Lanning. I love what he's about, and I love how he's bringing that SEC swag to Oregon. And they're going to go to the Big Ten next year, and I think they're going to really shake things up there. Michigan and Ohio State need to watch out because they're not just going to have a stranglehold on that conference anymore. I think Oregon's going to have a lot to say about the Big Ten moving forward. People were saying
True.
USC. I just don't see it. Lincoln Riley can't put a complete football team together. He puts together incredible offenses, but historically bad defenses. So, um, Dan Lanning and Oregon, that's my early pick next year to win the Big Ten.
Whoa.
So, in their
Hello.
first season in the Big Ten.
Mark it. Mark it. We got an early prediction for
Flip
Big
it.
Ten. Big
So,
Ten winner next year. The Ducks.
the Ducks, baby.
Quack.
So, thank y'all for tuning in again tonight. Thank y'all for sticking with us late on another late night
Hey,
episode.
we might as well just make this a Friday routine. We've done it 2 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah, Friday's just
Hmm.
going to be the late night from now on, so y'all just mark it. If we say 9:30, just tune in about 10:30. That's about when we'll be starting.
Between the Hedges after dark, baby.
Yep. Again, thank y'all for all the support. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening, a great weekend. We'll see y'all again on Sunday. What do we want them to do, Matthew? Hit the like, hit share,
Like,
subscribe.
comment, subscribe, and
Yep.
turn on notifications.
Thank y'all and go dogs.
Go Dogs!